This video is all about color. We're going to look at the difference between RGB and CMYK. Let's get started. RGB stands for red, green, and blue. Each color can be represented as a number between 0 and 255. RGB is an additive color model, which just means you start with no light or black, and then red, green, and blue are mixed together in different combinations to make colors and produce light. When all three are added together, it makes white light. Screens on your computer, TV, and phone use RGB pixels to produce images. Now let's talk about CMYK. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Usually used for printing, these can be represented as a value between 0 and 100. Unlike RGB, when all of the CMYK colors are mixed together, we get black. This is because CMYK is a subtractive color model. The more color we add, the darker it gets, subtracting the amount of light reflected from the paper. CMYK printing uses a technique called halftoning, where tiny dots of each color are placed on white paper. The pattern is small enough that we see them as solid colors, which creates the final image. Due to the differences between the two color models, images you see on screen may look different than in print. For example, an image will appear darker once printed. Remember, your computer screen makes color with light, and the printed images gets its brightness from the white paper. It can also be hard to convert a color from RGB to CMYK, and vice versa. This is because each model has a different color gamut. A color gamut is just a subset of colors a color model can reproduce. I know, that sounds confusing, so let's use some pictures to explain. Here are all the colors we can see. In this triangle is the RGB color gamut and all of the colors that it can produce. The CMYK color gamut overlaps RGB but doesn't reach the same bright colors. This is why your images may look a bit dull in print compared to your computer screen. The same color values can even look different from screen to screen. Okay, let's do a quick review. RGB is used for screens. It mixes together and gets brighter, and uses pixels. CMYK is used for prints. It mixes together and gets darker, and it uses dots. And while RGB and CMYK have similar color gamuts, it's hard to perfectly convert between the two. And based on everything we just learned, we can make adjustments to our images on the computer before we send them to print.